This is the Red Sox POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Boston Red Sox, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, I might be willing to concede something here, but it's going to take some convincing. The Red Sox finish off the series sweep in fine fashion. The bats again supporting the starting pitcher, Lucas Giolito. Could have gone 7, went 6 scoreless and picking up the win. Red Sox get the job done. They've now won 6 in a row for the second time this year, and they are a season high 4 games over 500. How about those numbers for numbers of the night? With that, we welcome you into our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime play-by-play announcer and show host, here to remind you that the Red Sox, during their franchise history, have had 6 players win the AL Rookie of the Year award in the American League. That includes Carlton Fisk way back in 1972. We are providing reaction every Red Sox game on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel. Our Locked On Red Sox postcast also available on the Locked On Red Sox podcast feed, which is free and available wherever you get your podcast. On our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast, we're talking about Carlos Narvaez getting things done in the second inning after squandering an opportunity in the first to score runs early off and often. Narvaez, one swing of the bat, got the Red Sox on the board and never trailed in completing their series sweep over the dreadful Colorado Rockies. Audience participation from our Royal Rooters, well, it is encouraged. Everydayers and first-timers, hit that comment button, share your thoughts on tonight's Red Sox victory. If you are on board with us on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel, you can also continue the Red Sox and baseball conversation. Hit me up on the X at Lennox on baseball. Questions, comments. I don't think you have any concerns right now, but you've got a big series coming up starting on Thursday with the Tampa Bay Rays, who you're looking up at with the AL wild card, but thanks to the Yankees, the Red Sox now tied for that third wild card with the Seattle Mariners. So, Red Sox pick up another victory. Again, they've won 6 in a row for the second time this year. Season high, 4 games over 500. And what do the Red Sox get on Wednesday night in completing their series sweep over the Rockies? Another quality start.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Back sweeps against the lowly Nationals and Rockies. 4 sweeps on the year, 3 of those coming at Fenway Park. Lucas Giolito. Red Sox had a golden opportunity. And how about in the bottom of the first inning? Jarren Duran hits one up the middle, goes off the shortstop. Duran racing around first, taking off for second, credited with a double. Fernandez in right field overruns the ball, decided, I'm not going to go get it. Doyle, you're the center fielder. You go get it. Duran races to third. The third baseman has to reach and extend in order to prevent the ball going perhaps into the stands or the third base dugout. And Duran could have raced around with what certainly would have been, I think, a little league home run. Instead, Red Sox squandered the opportunity. Don't score in the first inning. But my at-bat of the night, which I've got to start remembering because that's one of our focal points on the Locked On Red Sox postcast, along with hearing from the Royal Rooters, that's you. At-bat of the night for me, Narvaez, home run number 8, leading things off in the second inning against Senzatella, who takes another loss. His 8th on the season, 434 feet. And then Narvaez in the 4th inning, a double, moved to third on a balk, and then Masa Yoshida back in the lineup. Not 1, not 2, but 3 hits, including a double in his last at-bat. Yoshida, RBI single in the 4th inning to make it 2-0. But Lucas Giolito, terrific. 17 swings and misses on the night. No walks, 4 hits allowed, 6 strikeouts. For the second straight night, Rockies late in the game using the home run to avoid being shut out. Bayo gave up the 2-run home run in the 9th inning on Tuesday night. And then Isaiah Campbell gave up a 2-run home run in the 8th inning, but worked a scoreless 9th inning. How about first Nesson reference, Dave O'Brien, 9th inning? Hey, Red Sox have hit into 3 double plays, but they haven't turned one tonight. Did in the 9th inning. And Abraham Toro got it started. 3-6-1 as Campbell got to the bag at first base. Double play, gave up a single, and then a fly out to end the ballgame. But the Red Sox continue to hit home runs. They continue to add on late in games against just really bad baseball teams, right? The Nationals and the Rockies over the last couple of nights. But I don't want to necessarily hear, well, they swept the, 2 really bad teams. The Nationals on Sunday fired their baseball ops guy, Mike Rizzo, and their manager, Dave Martinez. 2 teams going in the wrong direction right now and really all season long for the Rockies. as they are just brutal. I mean, it's just bad. 51 games under 500 now on the season, as they dropped to 21-72, 4-15 in their last 19. They got some guys who might get moved. And I hope if they get moved, they're sort of revitalized after the All-Star break, at the trade deadline at the end of the month. Because a guy like McMahon could go to a team and probably help. And he might go to his new team and say, thank you for getting me out of there. They're acting like there's a week left in the regular season. No, there's just a handful of days before the All-Star break. But again, break it open with 5 runs in the 8th inning. That's where I'm willing to concede, hey, you just beat the heck and beat the snot out of a really bad baseball team at the big league level. I can concede that now. But Giolito did his job. Didn't nibble. Good fastball. Missed a couple of times, spiked a couple of breaking balls, and you could see reaction when he didn't do what he wanted to do with certain pitches during the night. But 6 scoreless, just over 90 pitches. I mentioned 17 swing and misses. Didn't walk a single hitter. And that's what you want against a team like that. They go up first pitch swinging early in counts. And how about cutting them down? Narvaez hits the home run to get things going in the second to start things off against Senzatella. But he cut down a would-be base stealer for the final out and back in the top of the first inning. And then Giolito helped out by his defense. Freeman in the 4th inning, a base hit. And then Tolia later in the inning with 2 outs, a double off the Green Monster. Jarren Duran, Roman Anthony playing his first game at Fenway in left field, kind of gave way. Duran fired to the shortstop Story, who fired to Narvaez at the plate. They got the tag on Freeman, out, inning over. Shutout bid intact at that point, still through the first 4 innings for the Rockies at the plate against Giolito. But when they talk about, Romy Gonzalez, a terrific athlete, he's got great speed. He does. And they also say the same thing about Trevor Story. But you saw it on that play. The throw from Duran, Story had to sort of run towards right field behind the second base bag. Took the throw, fired to the plate. That is Trevor Story. And to me, his athleticism, almost out of a 10 of 10, maybe 9.5 out of 10. That was a terrific big league play right there. The throw was not to the shoulder where he could just turn and fire to the plate. No, he had to go get the ball, then turn, and then fire to the plate. And with his eyes really not on the target initially. That was a great play. So a caught stealing by Narvaez. Narvaez applying that tag on Freeman in the 4th inning. And again, turning away the Colorado Rockies. Narvaez, I mentioned the double in the 4th inning. And then Yoshida, 8th inning, double. Gonzalez, 2-run home run, 7-2. Meyer, a base hit, his second hit of the game. Hamilton, a walk. Duran, 3-run home run. Second straight night where Duran homers in his final at bat, adds on to the lead. And kind of the finishing touches on it as well. 7 straight games. Here's a number of the night. 7 straight games now for the Red Sox with at least 1 home run, 14 total in that 7-game stretch. 10 or more hits now over the last 7 games. All these numbers were simply updating from the previous handful of games, and you're almost going now you're into a second week with some of these numbers because you've now got 10 or more runs 6 times in the last 12 games, 96 runs total in the last 12 games. And all these offensive numbers, yes, against bad pitching from the Nationals, bad pitching from the Colorado Rockies. Tell you all of that to now let's see what they do over the next 4 games. Now, if you're going to take 3 out of 4 in this series and you win a couple of games 4-2, 3-2 against the Tampa Bay Rays, I'll take it. Maybe what they have lined up in terms of pitching, and they've got Bradley, then Rasmussen, then Boz and Crochet on Saturday. Looking forward to that pitching matchup. And then you've got Pepio and Bayo for the finale and the final game before the All-Star break on Sunday. You could have low-scoring games in this series, but what you want to really continue, you want the bats to continue. But what you really want is to continue with the quality starting pitching. And lead that into you're only as good as your next day's starting pitcher. Walker Buehler, make it 2 in a row. Let's see Buehler go out there and attack this Rays lineup. The Rays did win on Wednesday. They beat the Tigers of Detroit to avoid being swept, but they've dropped 4 straight series and 4 wins over their last 12 games entering the series against the Red Sox. So the Red Sox, again, have won 6 in a row, matching their longest win streak of the season, and the Rays have stumbled here of late. Maybe you can continue to allow them to stumble over the next 4 games. Supposed to rain during the day on Thursday, but the rain's supposed to clear out. The rest of the weekend looks pretty good for Fenway. Hopefully it stays that way. The showers that they were expecting right around the end of the game came on Wednesday night, but you got the game in. Alcala, I'm starting to really like. And I don't, in that situation, it was, they were within striking distance. But he worked a 1-2-3 7th inning, needing just 7 pitches to do it. He's a 1-inning guy. I think he could probably go 2. 7 pitches, maybe you give him the 8th inning there. That's okay. Not nitpicking with Alex Cora tonight. No need. But Campbell, first appearance, couple of base hits allowed in the 9th inning, but got the double play, gave up the 2-run home run in the 8th inning. Your bullpen is exactly where you want it for this upcoming series against the Rays. Alex Cora can pull out all the stops in these 4 games with his top-end relievers. Enough of me. We get to you, our Royal Rooters. Second segment, we're going to hear from you and have plenty of back and forth. Something I always look forward to. I start thinking about it during the day. Who are we going to hear from? What are we going to touch on? We've been touching on a lot of different trade possibilities at the end of the month. Had some back and forth on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel as well during the day on Wednesday. You can do it there. You can do it on Twitter as well, at Lennox on Baseball. Joe Ryan is a name that's starting to intrigue me. I don't know if it happens, but you'd need an awful lot to go back to Minnesota if you're going to acquire a pitcher like that. Joe Ryan, just looking him up, contract, he is good to go for the next 2 years. And then if you could lock him up for some sort of extension, I think he's late 20s right now. You'd have to convince me to give up a lot because I do think the starting pitching, this is not a 2-week thing. This, for me, is going forward with the Red Sox. And again, looks like Dobbins, Houck pitch, maybe his final rehab assignment on Wednesday. Looks like Dobbins on Friday. They're going to have to make a decision on Houck before the start and a 3-game series against the Cubs coming out of the All-Star break next week. The Red Sox have a lot of good problems right now. Who's going to start in center field? Who's going to start in left field? What are you going to do with Yoshida coming back? What are you going to do with Bregman coming back? Marcelo Meyer, I think, sticks. I think it will be David Hamilton. I'm going to be very surprised. And we may see Bregman here in this Rays series as well. That could be a shot in the arm. You've got an embarrassment of riches right now. Things have a way of working themselves out. We'll see how this plays out going forward for the Red Sox. But you've got to feel good right now. Andrew the GOAT, I'm anticipating positive comments from you on the other side. It's the Locked On Red Sox postcast. And we are presented by Open Phone. Locked On Red Sox, your team every day. Again, sponsored by Open Phone. Hey, if you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a service emergency like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, you didn't wait around. No, you called the next one. That's why having a reliable business line is so important. And that's why you need Open Phone. Open Phone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone or on your computer. Did you juggle 2 phones just to keep business and personal calls separate? Well, Open Phone is able to solve that instantly. Your whole team can share one number and respond to customers like a shared inbox. No more, hey, who's handling this in the office? And the AI agent handles after-hours calls, answers common questions, and captures leads so you never miss a customer again. Open Phone is offering Locked On Red Sox postcast listeners 20% off on their first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. Again, that's openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. And if you have an existing number or existing numbers with another service, Open Phone is able to port them over at no extra charge. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers. Locked On Red Sox postcast also presented by FanDuel. Hey, summer sports right now in full swing. We're after the July 4th holiday. Now we're looking towards Labor Day. And whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little bit more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. FanDuel helps you track your favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. Easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes every regular season game feel like a must-watch event. Whether you're placing a same-game parlay, or you're watching a bet ride into the ninth inning. FanDuel makes it feel like you are part of the action. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, one number of the night I want to pass along here. Usually it's the offense, right? And some people out there may not like the win-loss record. But this, to me, tells you exactly where the Red Sox pitchers are right now, and especially their starting pitchers, because there was a long stretch there where Garrett Crochet was the only guy in the rotation where it was winning pitcher Garrett Crochet. Everyone else was either a loss for a stretch there, and it was a long stretch, or a no decision. Well, over the last 9 games, Red Sox starting pitchers are now 7-0 with 2 no decisions, and Walker Buehler, the last time out, did pick up a victory in his outing. Where are we going? Who is our leadoff hitter here on the Locked On Red Sox postcast as we ramp it up with our Royal Rooters? Allie Batts is the leadoff hitter. Allie, great to hear from you. What a day to be a Sox fan. Let's keep this party going. Yes, for the next 4 days. Then roll here. I'll take a split against the Rays, but you really want 3 out of 4. You want 3 out of 4. So take the opener, make it 7 straight wins, and then go the rest of the way with the weekend with Dobbins, Crochet, and Bayo. Once you get past Buehler, you really look at it and you say, Dobbins is coming back. We'll see how long he can go. But then you've got Crochet and Bayo in the final 2 games going into the All-Star break Saturday, Sunday. Crochet, Boz has the makings of a great pitching matchup for Saturday's game at Fenway Park. Ethan, now this team is fun to watch. Ethan, it's been a couple of days. They are fun to watch. This is a lot of fun. Winning is fun, right? I'm sure they're still cracking up in the locker room, in the clubhouse right now at Fenway Park. Alex Cora and his staff, I don't know if they celebrate with the cervezas, the beers. Great. If not, they're having bottled water. Whatever they're having, hang out at the ballpark. Stay in the clubhouse a little while. Enjoy this. And it seems like they are enjoying it. Again, I want to see Marcelo Meyer get opportunity here. You're seeing 4 straight right-handers. Bregman comes back in any of the games. He's going to play at third. Maybe he even DHs 1 game. But Marcelo Meyer, to me right now, you move him to second base with Bregman coming back and playing the hot corner most of the time. And, hey, maybe Bregman gets some at-bats at the DH spot after the All-Star break. Maybe it's not just Ref Snyder or Gonzalez. But the issues or problems or the dilemmas that the Red Sox have right now, they're good problems to have. They really are. Patrick, been a couple of years since this team was fun to watch. Keep it up, boys. Yeah, look, I think that was part of the frustration. I think that's been part of the frustration. For me, jumping on last June with the Locked On Red Sox postcast, September for me was frustrating. And I said it then, and I'll still maintain it today. I know it's a lot more frustrating for Royal Rooters because I'm on board now since last June, so 12-plus months. But I thought this team squandered a great opportunity just to get to that best 2 out of 3, even if they were on the road, even if they were that number 6 seed, which I don't like calling seeds in Major League Baseball postseason. Maybe they got 3 games and they were washed out and they were done in early October. I still think that would have been beneficial. I really do. And missed opportunity last year. Right now, playing, and when I started, and I've said this before, and if you're an everydayer, I'm sure you've heard this once if you haven't heard it 8 times. I started last June, took 2 out of 3 at Fenway from the Phillies, and took 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, and I said, whoa, I like a lot here. I really do. And by the way, I've said over the last couple of days, Jarren Duran can have a great impact on a short series in October, come October baseball. And you saw that in the first inning. Now, playoff team going to play like the Rockies did on that play where they kicked it into a double and then he makes it to third base? No, you shouldn't as a playoff team, but, he puts pressure on the defense. Things like that could happen. Jeff, taking care of business up and down the lineup. Right. Oh, it's the Rockies. I don't care right now. They're on the schedule. Just because the Rockies are 51 games under 500. They weren't going to insert the Yankees for the series just because the Rockies are absolutely going to be one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball history. They're on the schedule. You beat the heck out of them. You won all three. And you're all excited. I love it. I mean, it's a great thing right now. Stan Poppy 33. There we go. Shout out to the radio broadcast, Will and Will. We're in fuego tonight. Both insightful and hilarious. I watched the game on TV with Dave and Lou on Nesson. But yes, away for a few days, didn't have Nesson, had Will and Will on the radio. They're terrific. Will Fleming for the Hall of Famer Joe Castiglione, great in the booth. Really is. And there, Will Middlebrooks, great guy. He's improved, but he's just better. He's more comfortable. The knowledge he gives, everything he's prepared. I love Will Middlebrooks, whether it's on TV or on the radio side. Stan Poppy 33, appreciate that. Jan, I'm optimistic about all the great pitching and hitting. Woohoo. I can't do the woohoo. I don't want to in a different voice. I will maybe. Jan, hey, this win streak reaches 11 in a row. If they take it to 11 after the All-Star break, and if they sweep this series, it'd be 10 straight going into the All-Star break. If they beat the Cubs and they win 11 in a row and take the win streak to 11 in a row, I'll drop a better woohoo on you. Jeff, tied for the third wild card spot. It was weeks ago where it's like, wow. You just didn't, you thought maybe, okay, maybe the AL East gets one. Now you're looking at, you want it. I'm not looking at the division right now. I'm looking at the wild card spots, and I'm perfectly fine with one of the three wild card spots. But right now you're looking at the Yankees, you're looking at the Rays, and you're looking at the Red Sox as the three wild card spots. A few weeks ago, that wasn't the case, but all of a sudden the AL East is back to being superior. It's going to be the Mariners. There's no one coming out of the AL Central with a wild card. We're just about ready to concede that, right? And that helps the Red Sox. So you took 2 out of 3 from Seattle. As that Devers trade went down, yes, Rafael Devers mentioned right there. I feel like that was natural right there. Just came about and it was part of the sentence. But yeah, this is a big series against the Rays. Get a little closer and then pass them. But yeah, right now, right there with Seattle. Tied for that third wild card spot. George, 15 hits. Giolito, Alcala, clean. Massa, ripping. You're adding 2 big bats to this lineup without a trade. Backup catcher position. Christian Vasquez. Somebody dropped that today on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube page as I answered it. Forget the name, and I apologize. Going to write it down. We'd go back and forth all the time. I should have had it. That's an error on me. Red Sox diehard checking in. Now let's go beat the Rays. Yeah, 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. Ethan. Moving across the country is a lot easier when the Red Sox win, but it's been so hard to catch POSTCAST. Hey, you can listen next day. That's okay. Shelf life of 24 hours when you play at 7:05. Our audience is a little less listening on the other side, but we appreciate you being on board with us, Ethan. And we're not going to nitpick. Watch, listen when you can. Locked On Red Sox Postcast, part of Locked On Red Sox podcast network, and available wherever you get your podcasts. So, Ethan, we always appreciate your support. Red Sox diehard, Yoshida, welcome back. There's going to be more of the story of why Yoshida missed so much time, but I'm glad he's back. And I don't know, again, that Devers trade was going to happen, but Craig Breslow, hey, in a few weeks we'll have Yoshida back. We'll take our lumps early on. We'll struggle. And that's what happened. But I love, his bat is, he can turn on one. He can hit a home run. But just put the ball in play and good things happen. Luis, things are feeling real good. I love the momentum right now. Probably the best baseball we have played all year. Offense clicking, starting pitching, bullpen, starting to get some rest. How about the defense? Defense as well. Man, when Abreu hit that home run, I'm thinking this guy's going to hit 30 this year, and this guy's already won a Gold Glove. I don't want to see Duran go. I'm going to go here for just a second. Sean McAdam, Chris Cotillo, Mass Live, covering the Red Sox. Sean McAdams covered the Red Sox for a long time. I watched some of their video on their podcast today on the X, and that's the formerly known as Twitter, not on X. But I had to explain my own joke or sarcasm or flippant remark right there. Anyway, Sean McAdams said, hey, maybe this is a trade that happens in the offseason. I'd like to see him stay intact with Duran. I want to see Duran with the Red Sox come October. Then you go from there. But yeah, at some point, you're dealing from a strength right now. Rafaela's not moving. Abreu's not moving. Rafaela is locked up. Both terrific outfielders defensively. I mean, think about the days. I mean, hey, you're Royal Rooters. Think about the days of Dwight Evans, Fred Lynn, Dewey in right, Fred Lynn in center. I mean, if you have two potential Gold Glove Award winners and you have Anthony in left field. By the way, Anthony did play a ball well, and I like the comments. Jarren Duran is helping him learn how to play left field. I loved Jarren Duran. I know some people, and again, I think Lou Merlone referenced and say, hey, some guys go in a little funk and all of a sudden everyone wants him traded. Duran's coming around. 2 extra base hits, 10-game hit streak. 11-game hit streak earlier this year. Enzo, Red Sox started slow but heated up in the middle 3 innings. Love to see it. First-timer, by the way. Enzo, welcome in. You are now a Royal Rooter. Appreciate you being on board with us. Tell your friends all about us as well. Michael, well said, Michael. Red Sox diehard, euphoria right now, still cautiously optimistic, but you have to feel good about the way they just pummeled the Rockies no matter how bad they are. I agree. And I think we can remain cautiously optimistic. Let's go quick here. Michael, let's go Red Sox. Who's checking in? Augusto, you play the schedule you are given 100%. There's no apologizing for this. You just beat the heck out of a really bad team, and you should have. But a month ago, last year, remember last year they dropped 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. And you're like, what in the world is this? And you had to win the final game to avoid being swept. Jeff, can you add 2 or 3-year starter without touching the big league club? I don't think you can. I mean, you could. It's going to hurt your minor league system, but hey, those guys are developed to help you at the big league club or to go in a trade. And, we could talk about 1,000,001 trades where what you send back, if it's a package of prospects, those guys are hit or miss. Doesn't matter how high they're ranked in a minor league system or how high they're ranked in the top 100 lists. So it depends on what a team wants. If they and Craig Breslow said that with TC, Tom Caron on the pregame, and I think that's going to be part of the Section 10 pod in the next couple of days. What do other teams value in the Red Sox organization? Do they value, hey, we want Jarren Duran. Okay. How do we, is it Duran and Joe Ryan? Just throwing that out there. What else are you adding to the package? Royal Rooters, baby. Ralph checking in. Love it. You guys are taking to this instantly. I love it. Thank you. Ralph, can't underestimate the Rays. Absolutely not. Hoping Buehler puts up good numbers. Yeah, and if you get 5, you've got Whitlock, the possibility of getting 2 innings in there as well. We got to go here, so I'm going to get a couple more. Austin D. Keep eating the chicken, Carlos. Yeah, Carlos recently sacrificing the chicken, and I think that's a part of what we got going on here, and there's nothing wrong with that. Benson, if we take the series against Tampa Bay, we are sitting pretty, 100%, but you just got to keep grinding. That can't stop. I don't see the value nor why of trading Jarren Duran. Benson. Just because of what you're going to get back. I mean, we've heard for weeks now that the San Diego Padres really like Jarren Duran. Okay. So you're going to have to overpay in my mind right now. Benson, and to all the Casas fans, I think you mean. Tristan who? Yeah, I don't know if Tristan Casas maybe has played his final game with the Red Sox organization. That's a 2026 thing. Austin D. Why would, because of his age, that's for Duran, no desire to pay him for the long time, but I agree the value isn't there. Could mess with the entire team chemistry coming up. Again, that's a move maybe, as Sean McAdams said, masslive.com, that you do during the offseason. Benson, one more. I'm sick of hearing about prospects. I want big league talent. Nothing but the farm kids since 2020. Hey, some of these guys are working out. Cedon Rafaela, Wilyer Abreu in a trade, Brian Bayo, Tanner Houck, all-star last year. and you sort of go from there. At bat of the night, again, Carlos Narvaez, solo home run, getting things going in the second, and a Red Sox rout of the Colorado Rockies. And again, 4 games over 500 at 49 and 45. Here come the Rays, and we've got 4 strong pitching matchups, and hopefully Walker Buehler gets the best of Taj Bradley. That might be the only game in the series where you could see an 8-6 game, 10-9 game. By the way, the Rays in their 2 victories, Red Sox have won 4 of the 6 meetings so far this year, but the Rays in their 2 wins, including thumping Tanner Houck in Florida back in the early part of the season, raised 26 runs in their 2 wins against the Red Sox this season. Walker Buehler, get a good night's rest, come to the ballpark, and be ready to go on Sunday. Jeff, hit that like button. Yes, listen to Jeff. Hit that like button. You can get alerts as to when we go live with each and every Locked On Red Sox postcast throughout the course of the Major League Baseball regular season. And hopefully we're doing this in October as well with October postseason baseball. Locked On Red Sox postcast, number 1 place to hang out immediately after every game. We tip our cap to you, the Royal Rooters. Locked On Sports, your team, your winning Red Sox every single day. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, everybody.